So the next topic was something I saw on Twitter. I feel like obviously a lot of things that we talk about on this podcast are usually Twitter topics because that's like the voice of the people right now, and for the last few years. Anyway, um, so I feel like this was like a more recent tweet where some woman was just complaining how they feel like they hate how being attractive as a woman, like being deemed pretty and having like a decent body, there's this assumption that you have like hoes or that you're constantly like somebody's, you're talking or entertaining somebody, whether you're in a relationship or you like are entertaining somebody. There's always this perception that like you're doing that. Um, and then that goes further into like anytime you see like an attractive woman, I feel like on the timeline, somebody that looks good or has a really nice body, there's always like in the comments or in like a quoted tweet, it's like, and this for men and women both perpetuate this. They'll be like, "Oh, I know somebody don't play about her," or "I know somebody don't play about you." Like kind of like I know somebody's like got that, basically, right? And like I know they don't play, like they make sure they holding that down. And I just feel like that's an innocent comment, right? That's basically a translation into like, "Oh, you look good." That's basically just a compliment. But I feel like a lot of like innocent comments that people make, when you dig deeper, it kind of like it's very like kind of ill intentioned in a way. Because I feel like making that assumption that an attractive person is in a relationship. I mean, I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad assumption, right? Because like you heard that.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
You just keep talking.
Sorry,
So,
that's
yeah, the mic wasn't gonna pick that up.
I know, that just scared me. I have PTSD from living in the fucking country, so I thought it was like a field mouse. But yeah, I just feel like that's like such a flawed assumption to make. But like I get it because it's like if you look at this like the food chain and like the circle of life, right? Like being deemed attractive or having like what's considered a nice body, right, is an innate, like natural thing, like to be attracted to like what's considered the best mate. Even in the animal kingdom, they have that type of system, right? Like where whoever's deemed the most like the best mate is always going to have like more competition for them. It's always going to be the person that's like more likely to reproduce. And I feel like the same goes for the real world. Not necessarily because it's too lower as a totem pole, people can reproduce and create a family. But I think that's just natural to think that like somebody who's deemed attractive likely has suitors and is likely in a relationship, you know? But I do feel like you shouldn't necessarily project that onto people because it's kind of messed up when you think about it deeply, right? I'm sorry, this cough is so annoying. And I feel like the same goes for male and female. The male is probably the same thing, right? Like men, if it's really attractive if it's really attractive man in the timeline, the women are like, "Oh, I know he got hoes. Oh, I know there's mad bitches in his DMs. Oh, I know he got 30 girls on his phone right now." It's like, dang, I can't just be you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Because I would say, not to be, big myself up, but think I would be considered like an attractive person with like a nice body, or was considered like nice body, right? So I do feel like there's people out there, whether they see me on social media or whether they might know me personally, who might have assumptions about me, right? Like they might be like, "Oh, I know she probably like had mad niggas, right?" Or like, "Oh, I know she probably got hoes." Like even like we're in a relationship, so that might not be perception, but like more so from strangers, right, who don't know we're been in a relationship for so long, like probably had that perception. And I feel like there's also another perception of like men and female who are considered attractive that like they probably have like a higher body count. Like if you say like if you are considered an attractive person and you say like you have like a lower body count, I feel like you're not believed, male and female, right? Like, so I don't know. What do you think? Well, I mean, I guess I kind of already said what I think what the like root of that reasoning is, because like you're just deemed attractive, so people just think you have suitors. But like I don't know. Do you feel like you've experienced that? Like have people said that to you? Like girls have said that like along the years, like, "Oh, I know you got hoes," or "I know."
No.
Really?
No.
That's crazy.
No. What do you? Because I only talk to certain people of a certain like kind of ilk. I don't know. Like I'm not on Twitter, so nobody would just randomly just say that on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then people that I would have talked to, like in real life, aren't dumb. So like, I don't know. I just kind of talk to more intellectual people, so they wouldn't say no dumb. They wouldn't say no
It's not
dumbass
about
shit
being
to me. Like,
intellectual. Like sometimes you might just have a random girl like that might say
nah,
something
cause
to
like
you.
what are we talking about? Like what in what world? First of all, nobody's even brought up that question to me ever. Like like a body count
No,
question.
yeah, well, you know what? That's obviously common. I think men are less likely to be asked about stuff like that. I've never been asked about stuff like that, but I'm saying I wouldn't be shocked if people had that perception of me. Like if someone were to ask, like, "Oh, is your body count?" If I said my number, like people would probably be like, "Ah, you lying," because it's like they just deem like, "Oh, you look too good for that to be true." Like I know that you've been like,
What's the number and put it out?
I'm not putting that
Oh,
out
I
there.
thought people were gonna do a survey in the comments to
It's
see
very, very, very low.
how low is it. What's the number?
You stop.
Oh,
What's
um,
yours? Yeah, exactly.
one,
All right, Alex. Don't piss me off for real.
but
No, but for real, like I really feel that way. Like if I said that, especially at my age, I'm 27. I mean, we've been in a relationship for 9 years, so it's not crazy. But it's like people would probably be like, I mean, yeah. Even if I was single, I'm sure it would still be like very low because I'm very tactical and like picky with stuff like that. So
how picky?
I am. And don't try to talk about our situation because our situation was like it was different. Like there was a
I
vibe.
didn't say anything. I was just asking a question. You just talking. I just want you to expound on your points.
You know, like you're asking these questions when you know how I am.
Yeah, but we're having this discussion for everyone.
I know.
So no, nobody said no dumb shit like that to me ever. And yeah, people are weird. I think assuming anything about anybody is kind of weird. Like you should just talk to the person, and then that answers all your questions.
Yeah.
There you go. That's where it starts and ends for me. Life is simple. Simple as you want to make it.
Yeah, and I just feel like
Simple. Are you in a relationship instead of assuming somebody's in a relationship
yeah,
or
but
assuming somebody's
I
ran
think
through?
people just gotta stop like projecting things on people. Like I feel like you have to take away your own prejudgment. So if you see a woman that's attractive, like don't assume that maybe like she's somebody does a play about her, or don't assume that she's probably got mad niggas in her DMs and stuff like that. And like yeah, sometimes it's not a bad assumption to make. Like yeah, a woman who's attractive more
Yeah,
likely than not have men in her
but
DMs.
why make the assumption though?
Yeah, why
Like
make that
there's no
assumption?
benefit to
And there
make
might be men
to
in her DM, but she
assuming.
might not be entertaining them because that
But
might be the thing too.
but
Oh,
there's
she's probably entertaining mad niggas in her DM.
what does assuming get anybody? Is like my
Exactly.
question.
Yeah,
Because like
and that's just yeah, it's so flawed. Because I feel like maybe men wouldn't be shocked, but in my opinion, I feel like some of the most hit women are probably the ones that have higher body counts and who are like women that are attractive. Is that like an outlandish statement?
no.
I genuinely feel that way. 'Cause I feel like women who are not as attractive are insecure, so they give up their body more easily than a woman who's secure in herself and knows that she's like a catch and like knows that
Yeah, I've seen it with your friends.
Huh?
Hmm?
You're so shady. That was shady, babe.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
That was messed up. No, but
I'm gonna order a
it's real.
smoothie.
It's a real thing. Like I feel like if you like are, this is not an end for every woman, right? Because there definitely are attractive women out there who are just sexually liberated, right? But I do feel like women who know that they look good and are very confident in themselves are going to limit access to who's going to experience this. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like in my personal observation, like bottom tier, not so like popping women have higher body counts from what I've ascertained in my observation.
This is a disclaimer from Alex specifically. I don't care about body
No,
counts
I don't care about
at
you either.
all.
I don't care about you. I'm just saying, like that's just my observation.
I'm
Like
not saying you said you care.
no,
I'm saying
just saying
I
people
don't
shouldn't make
care.
that assumption about what they could deem attractive women. Like that, they're the ones that body count be high. Like I'm sure a lot of people would be shocked that it really would be the most hit girls. Like you'd be like, her? There's no way. Like yeah, duh. Like what? Of course. Why would she not? Like that's all she got to offer is vagina. So, and men are desperate for it, no matter who you are, what you look like. So, I just don't like that assumption about pretty or so, like what's considered conventionally attractive women. That somebody don't play about her, somebody holding that down because no, like that's not always the case. And let's also too add the fact that being pretty is not everything. There's a lot of beautiful women who are shitty people, shitty personalities, you know. So she might look good, but there's no nigga holding that down because she's a little unhinged, a little evil, a little insufferable. So I like your conclusion. Just don't make assumptions about anybody. If you think somebody is pretty, just talk to her, figure her out. Like unlike Risa Tisa, a man can make their own observations and figure out
And
who
everybody
she is.
lies. So like, who? Like, I never
Yeah.
understood that about asking people really anything. Like,
You
you
with the
think
body
you
count
think
thing?
anybody's being honest about that? Like, let's be completely
Me
real.
personally, if I was single and dating, I would be honest about it. I have nothing to hide. Like, yeah, this is how many people.
But even
like,
still, you wouldn't be able to
the
determine
person I
whether
know, and the person would be
it
able
was
to
real
tell
or
them
not. You would
lying.
never because they weren't
But
there.
I would
So
literally
who
be like, I
cares?
swear, like you want me to prove
That's like
it?
that's like the weirdest question ever. Like,
It is a weird question.
Like,
And
I
that
get
sucks.
it.
I wouldn't, because like I said, I really feel like people wouldn't believe me, and it's like sucks because like I'm dead ass. Like it's like well, I don't. I would literally have no reason to hide it. Like if it was high, I would be like, yeah, it's this much. If it's low, I'd be like, yeah, it's this much. Like everybody's different. I feel like a lot of people do don't say it, but I do think it's stupid to even want to know or care. I do.
I think you should care to a certain extent, but it's the question. Like you have to just. That's one of those blind faith kind of things. Unless you get the only way you're really gonna know for sure is if you get the Carfax on it. But like,
Yeah, because somebody might tell you, like somebody might be like, hey man,
but it's
you might want to.
yeah, and that's the
Just
best
you know,
way.
the whole gang hit, so you might want to not proceed with that. The whole crew hit.
But if it's coming out of the person's mouth specifically, you should not that you shouldn't believe it, but like you're never gonna be able to actually know if that's the fact.
Yeah,
So no point.
and I just
asking
feel
me.
like that's just unfortunate part. I mean, thank God we don't have to experience it, but that's just what comes with dating when you're older, right? Like when you're younger, the person, like, not saying that this is necessarily true because you could rack up bodies very quickly, right? But you're more likely when you meet a woman younger to, or a man younger. Cause I still feel like this. I hate the perception that it's only women. Like I feel like women should care about men too, right? Because like I feel like men kind of get a pass, but I personally feel like I care. Like I would care about that if I was single. Like, because as I say a lot too about as a man, like why you want to run through all these bops or these hoes or like relax. You were prized too. Like keep that meat for a special woman in your life. So I feel like women should care too, but that's the reason why society doesn't care because women don't make it seem like they care, and I feel like they should. But that's a whole different. I mean, everybody should do what they want. Me personally, like I would kind of be like, yeah, like I want to care what the number was, but I do feel like after a certain amount, it's like chill, you know. And I feel like men probably feel the same way about women, but I do feel like if you do care about those things, then it's easier to like hold somebody down or date them when they're younger. If you're like meeting a woman in her 30s and like yeah, like it's more likely than not that it's gonna be in double digits. Like take it on the chin. Like yeah, he said, what did he say? Take it on the chin. But a lot of people don't care about that stuff. I can get it. Like it's like that was the past. That was the past. Like if you feel like this person could be loyal to you and that's it. But I do also feel like in some ways it is a kind of a personality flaw if you're like doing a lot. If you're like going, like somebody like Kazumi, like she said she willingly used to go to houses and get trained around on her with nothing. She gained nothing out of it. Like she was doing this before she was even famous. She gained nothing from it except feeling degraded because she was just like that. And fine, that's how you live your life. But that's not something personally if I was a man, would want. But everybody has their own what they would want in a man or a woman, right? But it's a lot of layers.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, that's a whole different conversation. The body count thing, like I don't know. I'm of the belief: do what you want, live how you want. Like I know how I'm living, and I know what I will choose and what I will want in a man, and I know what I want in myself, and that's just me. I'm not judging people who have high body counts. I'm not judging people who have low. I'm not judging people who have one.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who cares
about any of this? Why we even have a podcast?
I just know what I would align with. That's all. Like I feel like that's the end of the day. Like my opinion is about just what I would do. I personally value. I feel like my vagina is worth keeping for people that I feel like are worth having it.
People are.
That sounds crazy. But I'm saying this, like I'm talking more so if I was a single girl. Like I've been in a relationship for 9 years, but I'm saying like if I was like outside, like I promise you it wouldn't be high. Like because that's just not who I am. Everybody just has a different outlook on that, you know? And and my perception is like I wouldn't date a man that's exceeds us like astronomical numbers. But I'm also
What do you consider astronomical?
for a man, depends on the age. I'm 27, so if I was meeting a man now at 27, I think, to be honest, like anything over 30 is kind of wild for a man at this age. Under 30 is still, under 30 is still kind of wild because like like let's say you lose your virginity as a man at like 17, 16. 30 women in 10 years is kind of wild. It is a little bit. But you would think within that 10-year time period, you had to have been in some type of criminal relationship at least for like a year or two. But
no,
you would hope. I feel like there has to be like, show me some track at this age. Show me some track record of you being in a stable relationship at least for like 1 or 2 years, where you was having sex with the same girl for 1 or 2 years. But also, it is easy to rack up bodies because some people could rack up. Like we talked about that basketball player, you could rack up 10 in one night depending on what's going on. But that's still crazy to me that you would put yourself in a situation where you're with 10 different women in one night. Like I would be disgusted by a man that's doing that. But yeah. Like I think at the age of 27, if your body count's over 30, if I was single, I would not. I mean, even under like 20, even over 20, I don't know.
All right. You good on this one?
But that's just my opinion. I just want to make that clear because some people hate when people have opinions on body counts. That's just my opinion. We all are entitled to live the way we want to live. It shouldn't bother you how I live, and it doesn't bother me how others live. I'm just saying what I would do and what I would date.
Yeah.
But I also understand the people that be like, yeah, you could do all that. I know that I keep going.
Yeah, yapper, you like the infinite. Yo, you good? You could just stop. You could just stop.
I had an espresso martini.
You don't have to do the infinite yap on the one topic.
I had an espresso martini.
Ooh, that was like 0.01% alcohol in it.
No, cause I'm also like I feel like people like live your life. And if you could be in a committed relationship, that's all that matters. As long as you don't cheat on me. But I do feel like there is like you could kind of judge people off their sexual decisions. Because for me, sex is so invasive and such like that's just how I feel. It's like such an intimate act. Like you're literally connecting to genitals. Like some people don't see that's as serious as I do. And that's especially as a woman. I feel it more seriously because it's such like an invasive thing. Like somebody's coming into your body, like literally, like entering your body. Like
You're sick.
No, for real. Like maybe men. That's why men kind of get it past because it doesn't seem as like, invasive. You're just putting your meat into something. But as a woman, it's like you're literally having a person insert you. Like you're inserting my body.
We got you. We know how it works.
Yeah. So I just feel as a woman, I'm much more like I don't know. I personally would feel like itchy if I like lay down at night and I was like, damn, 30 niggas been in this. Like 30 niggas are running around with stories about me. Yeah, no. But if that's how you live, that's how you live. Like I could commend sexually liberated people because they just don't care about life's grapes. Because they all know the world's just gonna blow up one day anyway, and we're all gonna die. So why does any of this matter? But that's the beauty of life. We all can live the way we want to live.
Yep.
I feel like I've been talking like I'm high.
Yeah, you've been yapping this podcast. I'm not gonna lie. You good on this one?
Yeah.
Okay.